Hi, I'm Stephen Bailey. I've been playing drums for 35 years. I'm originally from Mississippi. I live in Little Rock, Arkansas. And here today, I'm just giving a little insight about my understanding of drums and what has inspired me to be who I am. And to give a little shout out to RTOM Corporation for the endorsement, the Moon Gel pad, 7-inch pad, amazing product, you have to have it. And then the Moon Gels here. I know a lot of people use these, but this is a great investment and a great company to definitely invest in. So here we go. I think it's very essential for drummers to be able to read music. It's not beneficial for all music. In the places of a jam session or maybe just an open session of impromptu music, then it might not be as important or vital, but it's good to have a foundation of music and be able to understand the music. If just per se you play at a church or you play at a place at a repertory theater or doing music for a larger array of people, then you might need to have music to keep you structured. Music is great to keep you foundationally structured, just like reading a book. That book has a preface, it has contents, and it has all the way down to the end, to the table, your contents and who the people were that wrote the actual book. So it's good to have music as a drummer because it keeps you foundationally in a foundation of important pieces to be able to be a better drummer. As well as as a drummer, if you don't have music, then I think you should have some type of fundamental background of music just to help benefit you through your career. People often talk about triggers and acoustic drummers all the time. We're at a technology phase right now where everything is vastly growing and moving to an era where we have to have technology. It's important to be able to, to move with the times. Back in the days, in the 60s and 70s, we had a lot of acoustic playing. We had some of the greatest drummers in the world that recorded in live studio sessions or, in tours, and they played acoustic drums, and they played them great. But they had percussion players, and they had auxiliary players with them. But now, most drummers now are covering the whole stage by themselves. They actually are playing and being able to cover multiple parts. You have backing tracks that are already pre-recorded in whatever type of recording DAW you're using that allows the drummer to play on top of that. But hybrid drumming is great because now you can actually add that element to your drumming, and you can actually play triggers or certain parts that is in the music that they want to be heard. For instance, you might be playing the bass drum, and the bass drum could be just a real solid, deep tune, but if you add a hybrid trigger to it, it allows the bass drum to have an 808 or 909 bass drum, which has a tonality to it. As well as if you're playing hybrid drums and you're in a setting where the actual acoustic engineer, the engineer has a great sound system, then hybrid drumming is great because now you have a sound system that can benefit both. You can have the actual acoustic drum comes out, and you can actually have the actual hybrid drum that comes out of the system as well. So it's good to have that. In certain settings, hybrid drums is not that important. It's good to have acoustic drums. You might be in a smaller coffee lounge or a setting where it's jazz being played. Or it can be a jazz club, anywhere. But if you have acoustic drums, you don't necessarily need hybrid drums for those particular settings. So for me, I play acoustic drums, but the future of drumming is hybrid drumming. I think rudiments, for the most part, if you look at the definition of rudiments, it's a fundamental background of anything that helps you to grow. So if you're playing piano, you have to have scales to create chords. And normally if you take piano lessons or guitar lessons or any type of instrument, that teacher is going to help you learn the fundamentals and the basics of that instrument first. And that's what rudiments are. So in actuality on the drums, rudiments are not essential for everything you have to do, but the thing is, rudiments are part of life. When you're walking, per se, you right, left, left. Every day, when we're moving, we go faster, we go slower. We're still doing rudiments with our body. We're doing singles. So on the drums, even if getting around a kit, you know how to get around the kit pretty adequately, you're still doing rudiments. If you're doing one hand, you're doing singles with one hand. If you're doing left hand, you're doing singles with the left hand. If you're doing both hands, right, left, right, right. That's a paradiddle. So in actuality, whatever instrument you play, it's essential to have rudiments. But the rudiments, according to the drums, is very vital to what you do. You have singles, doubles, flams, paradiddles. I think those main 4 rudiments are very, very essential to any drumming, any sense of drumming, whatever you do. If you do country, rock, old school, party, Latin, jazz, fusion, gospel, any type of music you play, those rudiments, those 4 rudiments are very essential, and that's all you pretty much need. Unless you want to get into some more hybrid rudiments that will help you kind of expound on your playing more. But it's very, very important. Basses, I love them. You can't play without them. A good drummer and a good bass player together is like peanut butter and jelly. They lock together. That's what creates the foundation of music. It has the flow. That's where the funk comes from. You have to have bass and drums together. But in this sense, I'm a drummer. Certain songs start with the bass first. Think about it, Michael Jackson. Dum 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 dum. Or Rick James. Boom 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. That started with the bass first. But there was some sense of timing and click there that kept the bass player on time. So in the sense of studio or pre-recording, pre-production or live, yeah, it's good to have a click track or something in the people's ear, musician's ear, or some type of stem keeping them on. But the bass player can definitely start the track by himself. He might be the music director, so he might have to actually set the pace. Or it might be a live impromptu jam session where the bass player's like 1, 2, 3, and he's kicking it off himself. So a bass player can't start the music. A lot of bass players normally are drummers. But drummers, that's our job, to keep time. We're timekeepers, we keep the tempo. So it's kind of always been a struggle there, but I think drummers pretty much should start a lot of the music. And it's everybody's job on stage. Let's let it be understood here. Every position you're in, if you're singing, you should keep pace with your body. Your legs should be moving, or your head should be moving side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's keeping the timing. And that feel, so when a drummer is playing, even though it's his job to keep the time, it keeps the flow of everybody on stage. If everybody's camaraderie is together, that is the click. So it's everybody's responsibility. Me personally, I've come from an old school background where I was used to like tuning my drums myself. I marched in a drum corps, I have marched in marching bands, jazz band, I've played in pep bands, concert bands, and we had to learn how to tune our instruments to keys, ranges, and pitches. And it's very, very important to be able to learn how to tune first before you add any type of dampening tool or things that could actually benefit your playing. First and most important thing is, with drums, you have different woods that you're using. You might have maple, you might have birch, babinga wood, mahogany, brass wood. I mean, you have so many different forms of manufactured parts that allow the drums to make the sound that they make. So, and also you have to have the right heads on the drums. You can't go to a setting where it's a more like very intimate, smaller room, but you have like 1-ply heads on your drums and they're clear. Because 1-ply is you hit it, it's gonna ring, it's gonna sustain through the room, and now you're trying to control that sound in an element of jazz or whatever type of music you're playing. So I think the drums is most important first. The second befitting factor is the actual heads that you have on there. Because you have coated heads on drums. Coated heads and darker heads normally have a darker tone, which won't allow the drums to ring as long as they would. But we have a solution for that, and that's called moon gels. RTOM is a great corporation right now. You have several other companies out there that have similar devices. You have zero rings and things of that nature people have been using for years, but this is the best thing on the market right now. You can use a pack of moon gels and they can dampen not only your drums and snares, but your cymbals as well. But being able to dampen drums should be the cherry on top. You drop the cherry and cream on top because you've already tuned the drums. Most importantly, learn how to tune first, then dampen your drums. And I'm Stephen Too Tall Bailey with RTOM Corporation. Practice made perfect.